Yes, welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It's been a very, very, very busy week for Tottenham in the transfer market, but today's video is about some news on the pitch. Tottenham Hotspur have drawn Manchester City, that small club in Manchester. We'll be playing them in the fourth round of the FA Cup at White Hart Lane in just under 2 weeks' time. I've got LB here from It's LB. Big up, LB. How you doing, mate? You well?
Yeah, all good, man. I just butchered. This is the second time we're doing this, guys, because I just absolutely butchered the last introduction. So, yeah, I'm all good, man. City have a big game tomorrow coming up against Newcastle. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And, of course, then I think this weekend's fixtures are great. You know what I mean? Some really tough games. The Liverpool game, tough. Your game against United, great. So, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, there's some great games, and it's strange because if we look at the FA Cup draw, in my mind, I seem to think that it was ages away. Like, oh, we'll play them in like 3 or 4 games time, and it was like, hang on, us and you have literally got one game this weekend, and then we play each other in the cup. Listen, right. There's a lot being made of Spurs are Manchester City's bogey team, and you don't like playing us, and you can't score goals at our new stadium. And we'll have a look at some of the recent results between the two clubs in a minute. But when Gary Mabbott picked out Man City and you saw that it was going to be Tottenham v Man City, what was your first thought as a Manchester City fan? Tottenham away.
Great news. We've drawn a team that we've never scored at. You know what I mean? So, yeah, literally for me, it's probably the second worst tie we could have got. I put Anfield away, probably above you guys, because that's a really difficult place to play football. But I don't know. I feel that, like, now you've got Ange, I feel that it might be different, because typically what you've done over the years is you've sat back, you've absorbed the pressure. City won't take our chances, and then you'll get us on the counter attack and do us. And it's just like, it's basically could be the same thing most times, or we'll make a silly mistake at the back, as we did last year when Rodri decided to pass the ball to one of your forward players. You know, Ange isn't that guy. Ange ain't going to sit back. You know, he's just do it, mate, innit? You know what I mean? He'll play the style of football that he wants. He'll try and press us. So, not saying we're going to win, but I feel that, like, at least it's not going to be the same type of loss that we usually get. So
like a Conte type performance.
Conte, where we just batter you for 90 minutes. Yeah, we batter you for minutes, and then we miss all our chances, and then boom, you do us. So yeah, it's one of them. Really, we have to see how it goes.
Yeah, listen, I mean, from my point of view, listen, there are Spurs fans that will have the opinion of, well, look, we'd rather get, we've heard things like we'd rather get Man City at home now than Man City in a final. I completely disagree with that. I would love a cup run and then a massive big one-off game for a final. To be the best, you've got to beat the best. All these types of football cliches that have come out. But you're right. I didn't want Liverpool. I didn't want Man City. I didn't want Villa. I didn't want Chelsea. I didn't want Newcastle. I wanted a home tie against someone that you go, that will see us further through. But is there a stigma about playing Tottenham at the moment? I'm going to show you what I mean here. I'm going to share this screen with you. So this is, hopefully people can see that, and let's just see what's come up on the screen. Oh, that's very, very small, Richard, isn't it? By the way, that's me. I'm talking about myself in the third person. Hopefully that's a bit bigger. You can see there at the bottom, if we look at the recent years, it's been very hit or miss for Tottenham and Man City. Apart from the last draw that was 3-3, it was, few wins for us, few wins for you, few wins for us, few wins for you. But you don't have the success against us like you do against some of the other teams. What do you put this down to? Is it becoming a mental block, LB? Is it the players knowing we've not scored at Spurs' new stadium? Or is this just one of these funny things that happens and you think you're going to correct it on Friday week?
Yeah, I think. I take a piss out of it a little bit, you know what I mean. But ultimately, like, you got to look at some of these games, right? So if we look back at the game, the 3-3, I thought we played really, really well in that game. Really well. We made a stupid error on a corner or a set piece. You go down, maybe Edison should save it. Lo Celso, every single Spurs fan that spoke to said he's absolutely rubbish. He decides to stick one in the bottom corner. I know a lot of people don't like the stats, but if you look at all the stats, City were great in that game, and we were very unfortunate to draw it, in my opinion. The 1-0 last year, Rodri decided, was in no real trouble. You know what I mean? Not saying we would have won the game. Rodri decided to pass the ball on the edge of the box to one of your players. Fantastic stuff. You go back to the 3-2 when you beat us 3-2 in 2022. We fought back. We got ourselves back in it. And then all of a sudden, Cancelo does a Cancelo sort of stuff, decides to dive in, and then you get a cross in and score. That was probably our own fault. So, all of a sudden, 2 of those wins there could be draws, and it's not as bad as maybe people are making out. But ultimately, you got to put it right. You can't keep making mistakes every time we play. You play Spurs.
Yep.
I don't know whether Haaland will be back by then. Hopefully, he will, because now it's seeming like his return is even being pushed back even more. But listen, I want my team to stand up and look at this record and say. And we were just speaking on my channel about the City players' mentality, and not recently, but like about a month ago or something, City players had a meeting and said, this form that we're in is not good enough. We need to pick it up. And they all had an honest conversation. And since then, our results have picked up and we're starting to play well again. And before this Tottenham game, I want the players to know about these records. I want my players to know that we've never scored at this ground. I don't want them to know it because, look at the bad. I want them to know the players that we have will not accept that. They'll look at that record and go, "That's a disgrace, and we need to put this right." And hopefully they do. So, the only thing that I would say is, all season I've said I'm not sure if Pep Guardiola is going to take this competition seriously this year. I've not actually predicted us to win this trophy. I predicted us to win the Premier League and the Champions League, but I don't think we'll win this one.
So let me ask you then. So I mean, look, the game is Friday the 26th. So what are we? 2 weeks yesterday, right? So we've got 13 days until that game. Are you expecting it to be Haaland, De Bruyne, Rodri? Are you expecting it to be a first team? I say a first team. You know what I mean? You've got so many players, but are you expecting it to be your best 11 to come out at White Hart Lane?
I think you'll see some fringe players, maybe. I don't know. I just have a feeling that he's not going to take this one seriously because we've already won the Club World Cup. Right, and we won the UEFA Cup, not UEFA Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, right? So we've won 2 trophies already this season, which is fantastic. And I just feel that, like, in his head, he's probably looking at this going, if I win the FA Cup game, I've got more games to play. And I'm not a massive fan of teams disrespecting trophies, right? Yeah. But he's already won 2. He's already got 2 in the bank. If he sacks this off and goes, if I get rid of this competition, that's going to give me more of a chance of winning the Premier League and the Champions League. And then we've won the Club World Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League. If we was to do that, you really think anyone's going to be sitting there going, "Oh, if only he would have won the FA Cup, it would have been another treble." You know what I mean? He's not going to get any disrespect. So I don't know. I've just got it in my head that he might just sack it off. The only thing that could stop him doing that against Spurs is the fact that it's a Friday night and 9,000 City fans are going to be going down. And is that really, will he do that to 9,000 City fans?
Yeah. Is he going to disrespect people and the cup that much? I mean, look, I think it's interesting. I want to get your view, and listen, I'm not going to give my views on it because I think all the Spurs fans know my views. I didn't want Man City. I worry all the time about playing you. Even if we have got a good record against you, I always think records like that get broken. Like when people are saying, "Oh, they've not scored at our stadium." That's not going to be a thing forever. You know what I mean? That you are going to score at our stadium at some point. I hope it's not this game, but you will at some point. What's your feeling in terms of, we talked about it briefly on your channel, Romero should be back by then. James Maddison wouldn't have played a game of football by then, but could be back. But there is no Bissouma, there's no Sarr, there'll be no Son.
No Son. Oh my God!
No Son,
I was looking at his record against Manchester City, and it's a joke. I think he's got like 12 goal involvements in 18 games or something.
So that's my question. Without these players, without the Sonnies, possibly without Maddison, do you fear us in terms of an attacking threat? Do you think that we've got enough to open you up?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? This is why I think this game's so interesting, because everything that I've just said, but then you are right in saying, obviously, you are missing some key players. Will he throw Maddison in? Obviously, you're missing two key players or 3 key players due to AFCON and the Asian Cup. So, I don't know. Listen, I respect Spurs as a club. Yeah, I respect Spurs have got good players. Even with some of these players not available, you're still going to be able to put out a decent 11. You know, an 11 that's better than most in the division. And on your day, you could still beat us even without those players. And obviously, you're at home, so you've got that home advantage as well. So I think for me, it's more about what are City going to do. I think if City go there and he takes it seriously, with the players that you've just mentioned being out, I think we've got a great chance of winning. And I think probability is that we'll win despite our poor record. If he doesn't take it seriously, I still think we could still win, even if he doesn't take it fully seriously.
Yeah,
The
you've got a
players
good
we could
team.
put out, but it'll be more. Let's wait and see. So I just think this game's gonna be super intriguing as to what happens, because I just don't know how Pep's going to take it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the thing you said at the beginning of this stream is the key thing for me. You've now got a Spurs team that won't sit back. That's not in our genes anymore. It's not. We haven't got the personnel to do it anymore. It's not how we play. So on that, it's a big pitch at White Hart Lane. If we come out and open up, we've seen it a few times. Everton exploited it, but didn't have the quality to punish it. Same with Bournemouth. That's my worry. I'm not saying we can't beat you, by the way. I think a lot of Spurs fans think, because I like to, you know me, I like to play the devil's advocate. I like to look at all the scenarios. That's my worry about playing Man City, is that if you get the chances that the Bournemouths had, that the Evertons had, like Brighton punished us, I think you will punish us. However, I do feel if he doesn't take it seriously, Pep Guardiola, that we could do something. So I'm really intrigued, like you are. If I'm going to have to push you right now without seeing the team, without knowing all that, give me a score prediction. I know it's 13 days away. I know there's no real team news for it yet. But what does your gut tell you? Coming to White Hart Lane, Friday night under the lights. What do you think? Qualification to the fifth round or not?
Yeah, I'm still backing us to win.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a 3-1 City win.
3-1 City.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 2-2. I think that it will end up going back to your ground. I'm gonna go with a 2-2. However, I want to put a little addendum in there that I will change this prediction depending on the teams I see that line up on the night.
Yeah, me too. Can I put that in there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If I suddenly see that James Maddison is fit and you know, those sort of things, then I might change it. But listen, I think it's two managers that want to play football. It looks like it should be a really intriguing game. It's the game of the round. And listen, whoever wins it, let's be brutally honest, whoever wins this game, LB, will be looking and thinking, other than Liverpool, this is a really good chance to win that cup, because one of us will be knocked out.
Yeah, Chelsea or Villa are going out.
Chelsea or Villa are going out.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'd go as far to say it's going to be between the winner of this game and Liverpool is going to win the cup.
Yeah, I know. I agree. What are Newcastle saying? They're still in it, aren't they? So they're playing.
Yeah, Newcastle are away at Fulham, so it's a tricky game. Tricky game at Fulham.
Yeah, I'd still expect them to go through. So essentially, you got Liverpool, Newcastle. I don't really put Man United in there, to be honest with you, because I just think they're awful.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Aston Villa if they win, and then the winner of this game. So there's 4 teams in there. There's 4 teams in there. So this is, if Ange plays a weakened team, then that's shocking. I don't think he will. I think he'll go.
I can't see he will. I can't see Will in any shape or form. So, but listen, LB, thanks so much, mate. Always nice. I love getting a view from other fans. Otherwise, I feel like we live in a bubble of our own fan base.
Yeah,
and
I know what you mean, man.
I know my fan base gets frustrated with me, because when we were doing a show last night and they go, everyone's going, we'll beat City 3-1, 2-1, 2-0. And I'm sitting there going, I think we're going to draw. You're negative. You're not Spurs. And I'm like, hang on. This is the best team on the planet. Like, 2-2's a bloody good result. But look, LB, thanks very much. Everybody in the show, let us know what you thought. And LB's channel is pinned. Man City fan, but he does a lot of content with a lot of people, really good shows, great content creator, and we'll be live together again on Monday at 3 p.m. LB, enjoy the weekend, and everybody take care, and as always, come on, you Spurs.